Hey guys, Gil Lee Paz with the Red Star Pilots Association. I'm going to do a quick video to show you how to rebuild the QDF-1 air start valve. So this is the valve that we use to start the airplane, and the symptom that I was having was we would hit the start button and instead of the air coming out of here and going to the air distributor, it was actually coming out of these overflow holes and of course not starting the motor. So that's a problem. So you got to take this off, and I'm going to show you right now how to take it apart and rebuild it. This video is on repairing the QDF-1 start valve, which you'll find on the air start system for starting the motor on both Yak 52s as an example and the Nanchang. On the Nanchang, this was found on the firewall, and on the Yak 52 as an example, it's actually found behind the rudder pedals. And it has two parts. One part is an electric solenoid, and the second part is the actual mechanical valve. And the mechanical valve has three pieces of rubber in it. It has one true O-ring, one flat ring, and a chevron ring, and I'll show you in a second. And it comes in two forms. It comes in the spoon form, which is generally the Chinese one, which allows you to actually start this by pulling down on the spoon if the solenoid's not working. And then the Russian version typically does not have that. And they're interchangeable, so you can use whichever one you can get a hold of. Now, the issue is that the electrical solenoid part goes bad, in which case you have to replace it. But most of the time, it's this bottom part, which is the air valve part, which goes bad. And the reason is that a lot of cruddy air is going in here, and the parts are getting messed up and rusty, and there's gunk in here, and the O-rings sometimes go bad. So I'm going to show you how to open this up. So here's one that's already opened. You remove this part, get out of the way, unscrew the top, and move away the solenoid. And then what you end up with is the part that you want to fix. And this is what the kit that you get from Doug Sapp, as an example, will replace. And so you have a plunger here, and the plunger, this part is actually activated by the electric solenoid to make it move up and down and to allow air through the in valve at the bottom and out the out valve, which is to the spider, okay, to the air spider to start your motor. And so if you pull this part out, sometimes it'll be a little tough. You see this section, and this has your O-ring. Now this whole part can get really cruddy. This one actually looks pretty clean, but it can get really cruddy, and you may need to clean it, and you may not be able to. You may have to just replace it. But if it's clean enough, then go ahead and check your O-ring, and you can replace that. And then comes the tricky part if you don't know how to open one of these. So the question is, this is the part that goes up and down to activate the air, and there are two washers in here, a washer and an O-ring, the chevron washer and the O-ring. And the question is how the heck to get this apart? Well, it's actually pretty simple. And if you look, you'll see that there's actually a hatch here, and that is where a screwdriver is going to go. So this thing unscrews into two parts. You put a screwdriver here, and on this side, hopefully you can see it, there's two holes. And so you're going to have to put a tool on that, hopefully without damaging it. And once you get a tool on there and a screwdriver on here, hopefully you'll be able to unscrew this. And when it unscrews, you get it in two parts. So here's a part that has a flat rubber ring in it that you can replace. Again, you want to inspect this to see that it's nice and clean. All right, and that seats on there. And then this part comes out, and this has one of those chevron rings with the, you got to make sure that when you replace it that the toe points to the top. Okay, so you can clean all this and lubricate it, put new rubber inside, and then reassemble it. So just remember how it went. This goes back inside here. This with the new rubber will screw inside here. And then this piece goes inside here and seats in, and that's basically it. Screw the solenoid the electric solenoid back on. This, interestingly enough, does not have an O-ring and just seats tightly and does not let air out. And there you go. Put it back on your airplane and it should be good to go. So you want to just make sure that this gets cleaned up real nicely. Again, the kit for this is available from Doug Sapp. That is assuming that the solenoid is still good. And if not, then you may have to get a whole new unit. I hope that's helpful.